Ladies and gentlemen, we have Optic Gaming taking on Complexity here at the Halo World Championships. Both teams 2-0 in their pool. Complexity making the statement after a 3-0 win against TSM, the same TSM that pushed Optic to a Game 5.
Yeah, big question is, can you ride that momentum into a series against Optic Gaming, a team that has been known to choke in pools? So often have we seen Optic fall and get second in their pools and put themselves in such a tough situation. They face what is now the second best team in their pools after Complexity embarrassing TSM in 3-0 fashion. So this is a banger of a series in front of us. Optic need to get the job done. And as we take a look at the series layout, we get an opportunity to look at Fortress CTF to kick this series off.
Yeah, Clutch, we were talking about it in the back. Optic Gaming is playing with a chip on their shoulder after a disappointing finish outside of the top 2 at our last HCS major. Optic does not want to repeat their mistakes and fall short in these pool play matches.
Yeah, they probably thought their Friday was going to get easier after taking down TSM, after going to Game 5. Well, the way Complexity looked, the way Cherished looked in that series against TSM, this Complexity roster is here to play this week, and we'll find out very quickly if they can stand toe-to-toe with the green wall. We're kicking this one off with Formal, and he gets taken out immediately. A great start for Complexity.
Hopping on board with Mental. One member down, make that 2 for Optic. A third one falls as Mental takes down Bound, and like you said, Clutch, we have a great start here for Complexity.
Yeah, and Optic have been very vocal about their dislike for Fortress, so what a map one to see for Complexity here. A great start for Mental and the boys. They get a flag touch, but they need a couple more slays before this flag continues on the move. One comes through from RyaNoob. They're all over Optic's base. No one on that flag. Optic Gaming have actually gotten out. Can they get a couple more kills? It's the big question. Mental can't hit the shot, and with that, the flag's going to return. Mental's still alive, but an opportunity squandered, it appears, for Complexity.
Mental able to pick up the sniper rifle on the Optic side with some perfect shots on Formal, ultimately losing that sniper in Optic's basement. Let's see if Complexity will be able to spawn and get their own.
Yeah, I don't mean to harp on it too much, but those opportunities are not going to come often against a team like Optic. You need to take advantage of them. Right now, Optic on the offense, Lqgend in your face, Formal on his way there as well. And this is where it could get ugly quickly for Complexity. A kill comes through, Mental goes down. 2 members of Optic are down. Going to be a difficult flag to run. Formal knows that. Formal chooses to slay. Formal takes his eyes onto Cherished, but Cherished continuing the momentum from his series against TSM. Takes down Formal and stops that cap dead to rights.
Cherished seriously put on a juggernaut-like performance in that series against TSM, eclipsing the damage of any player on either team by a wide margin. Now we got RyaNoob on your screen, longtime favorite of mine, previous teammate RyaNoob with the nice no-scope on Renegade. That's 3 members down for Optic.
Still one player in his base to deal with. They are pulling the flag on the other side of the map. Lqgend has to get this kill onto RyaNoob. Is RyaNoob been given the chance? It's the question. RyaNoob relocates. Lqgend reads him like a book, takes him down. Renegade with a kill in the kill feed as well. This could be a counter cap opportunity now that Lqgend's opened the map. Not only that, Renegade finds the overshield as it comes up. Lqgend flag across halfway. Optic will take a 1-0 lead here shortly because Lqgend wins his pivots.
It's going to be a big sign in the success of this game is which team is going to be able to control the overshield, as Renegade makes use of it, pushing up into the Complexity base.
3 dead.
And now he has the flagpole.
Yeah, Complexity in a spawn trap. It's going to be a double cap opportunity. That overshield came up at the exact wrong time for Complexity fans. Green wall starting to feel some momentum, starting to love what they're seeing here on Friday, now that Optic Gaming take a 2-0 lead in Game 1.
Optic firing on all cylinders right now, a quick 2-0 lead, and Renegade trying to win this battle in his basement against RyaNoob and takes him out with a reversal. 3 members down for Optic, with Renegade the last one up.
Yeah, it could be a counter tap opportunity here for Complexity, but not if Renegade gets a couple of kills, and that he does. It's a killing spree for Renegade. That's going to stop everything Complexity could have potentially had. Another opportunity squandered. The green wall stands strong.
That's what makes this Optic Gaming roster so nasty, is that when you think you have their backs against the wall, the last member on the team can make the biggest play, and that's what we're seeing here at a Renegade.
Oh my god, a refill stick to the face of KingNick. That's a frustrating moment. Renegade losing teammates throughout this process, but still, he alone has defended Optic's base, giving his team so much time to come off respawn. Knocked to no shield, stays alive again. Renegade is 10-3-3, and honestly, the reason Optic Gaming are up significantly here, Complexity need to prioritize him.
Hopping on board with Bound. Sniper rifle in his hands, playing with a lot of comfort right now, knowing his team is up 2-0. Complexity is going to have to be the aggressors here as Bound making his way, taking down Mental with the help of Formal.
Bound doubles back, takes down RyaNoob. He heard the missed shot with Snipe, saw that as a window, an opportunity to take out the Sniper from Complexity. The flag's getting pulled. Mental, the last player alive, he's coming off respawn. And look at him, he's getting pinged. Complexity have to get around the Slays. There's no chance though, Faisal. This is an overshield flag runner, and Optic Gaming look like they're gonna punch their ticket to a 1-0 series lead here in dominant fashion.
Wow. Wow is all I have to say. Formal with 12 kills leading the team, and Optic Gaming just playing such efficient Halo. Complexity didn't really have a second to gather themselves. It seemed like Optic just had their foot on the throat the entire game.
Yeah, after the hot start from Complexity, they really squandered that one moment. You squander that against a team like Optic Gaming, good luck with the rest of the game, because the second they got control, it was a double cap, and it was Renegade buying enough time. Individual plays make this team great. And when Renegade is such a pain to try and flush out, he's the last player alive. You're trying to get a flagpole. He's getting that kill. Then he finds himself getting lost, finding another kill. And all of a sudden, what was an opportunity for Complexity to get a point on the board, Renegade removes that opportunity just by himself. And the rest of Optic Gaming took that and ran with it.
Yeah, that really was the difference maker in this game, was Renegade's ability to stay alive. Even when he was the last member in the opposing team's base, he was just doing so much damage and getting kills he had no business getting. Looking at the scoreboard here, Clutch, we got Formal with the 12 kills and Renegade with 10. Even though Legend and Bound only get 3 kills apiece, that's more than enough as they just have a 3-0 sweep in game 1.
That's efficient Halo right there. Under 5 minutes of play. 3 kills, you got 3 caps. That's as beautiful as it gets. Bound and Legends, your former world champions, continuing their path to try and hold the belt yet again this year, and only having to get 3 kills in game 1 to get a little bit closer to that reality.
Yeah, and if you're Complexity, you got to just brush that one right off and tell yourself, hey, that was a fluky win. That game was so quick. Let's just move on to the next one. And the underdogs, the game 2 is your place to shine. So if you're Complexity, you really got to come out strong in this game number 2 and try to get a win in the Slayer.
Stats don't favor them. It's 0-2 record here on Solitude Slayer, and they're getting beat down when they lose, apparently. 13 kills separate the scores there. The math is 50 to 37 is the average amount that they lose at. And I mean, Optic Gaming, they're getting ready for a nice Friday night dinner if they can speed run this series, and they look every bit of intending on doing so.
Yeah, this is the Optic we all wanted to see this weekend. A locked-in chip on their shoulder, green wall, like we talked about earlier. Clutch coming off of their first time not getting top 2 at a major this season, and now they are really angry and Complexity is in their sights. Yeah,
not only did they lose the tournament before, getting second to Shopify after having expectations of winning every tournament this year, how did they rebound? With a 3rd place finish, a loss to FaZe, and open really the door for FaZe Clan to be able to consider themselves amongst the top 3. You know Optic are out for blood. They've had their eyes circled on this weekend, and this weekend alone when this team formed. They want world champions as their title. We'll see if they can get there. They look so strong here today. You thought that series against TSM, was it TSM playing great? Was it Optic maybe slacking? Is it typical Optic and pool play? Well, looks like they've used that and slingshotted that momentum from a Game 5 win, and they look better than ever so far.
I know we looked at the stats and it didn't look favorable for Complexity, but like they were talking about on the desk, sometimes you got to just throw the stats out the window. We are here. This is here and now, and Complexity needs to put up a fight if they want to stay alive in this series.
I think if they get off to a strong start here on Solitude Slayer, it'll benefit them immensely in a Slayer. You don't have to worry about being able to pull that flag and whatnot. Getting camo and shock rifle out of the hands of the likes of Formal, out of the hands of the likes of Legend, Renegade, the entire roster can pop off with it. So it's a priority to win the opening break. What is Optic going to do to stop that is my question.
I couldn't agree with you more. The opening start is going to be a huge sign of success in this game number 2.
Normally when players have a 1.36, it's probably because they don't play a lot of games. Renegade 52 Slayers, a 1.36. This man dominates Team Slayers. And we're on board with Renegade to kick this one off.
Renegade getting his sights on the players towards top snipe. Couple members from each team fall. Renegade put down some nice shots on Mental. Perfect with a double kill. Looking for the triple on RyaNoob. Call it a triple kill for Renegade.
Renegade starting off with a 1.36. He's going to boost those numbers up if he keeps this up. A triple and an open map for Optic Gaming. Formal with shock camo in hand, and I said his name first for a reason. Let's see what he can do.
The last player you want to see with the camo shock if you're Complexity. Nice double kill for Formal. Ooh, almost getting that triple.
You know, KingNick is just sweating right now. So much pressure on him, he can't even get on the map.
We talked about the strong start and how important it is. Clutch, and
there he goes
just
again.
like that, Formal helping his team get this 11-3 kill lead. Camo and shock still in his control.
They got a dinner at Chili's reservations, it looks like, because they are dominating right now, 12-4. And Formal once more, pushing this LR player. RyaNoob able to drop, maybe get out of dodge, but they've lost track of Formal. Are they going to be able to spot him before he spots them? Because that's the big question when you have a shock rifle player on the map. Unfortunate timing for Formal, finally goes down, but the damage has been done. A 12-5 lead for Optic Gaming.
Good coordination there out of Complexity, taking down Formal. Now Cherished gets Renegade with Formal there to get the trade.
A little bit of map control now for Complexity. The game slows down a bit. You're down 7. Might feel like a mountain right now, but some unanswered kills can go a long way. No camo or shock on the map to really worry about, I don't think so. We'll see how Complexity choose to break the inside of the map, being stuck in yard right now.
Lqgend gets a double kill in yard, and just when I thought the game was about to slow down, Clutch, Optic chooses to just continue being aggressive, and let players like Lqgend and Bound are gonna force that hand because they're the most aggressive players in the HCS.
Yeah, it's Optic Gaming strategy. It's clear as day, right? Make them uncomfortable, apply pressure, see how they can handle it. Our Complexity is buttoned up as they were against TSM. The answer looks like no. The difference in pressure between a team like Optic and anybody else that you play against is so difficult to deal with right now. Complexity continuously being put on respawn. Still a 7-kill lead, but trades only benefit Optic as they approach 50. Camo is up now, the name of the game. KingNick wins a big fight on the Formal, and that could open the doors, but here comes Renegade trying to get that camo as Bound gets a double. You surely think Renegade picks this camo up, and all of a sudden, the pace just feels terrible for Complexity.
Yeah, what could have been a big swing moment, an opportunity for Complexity gets shut down by a big-time double kill by Bound. Now, Renegade with the camo, playing carefree. No one is shooting at him, and he just has complete control of this map right now.
Even if he wasn't invisible, he still gets those 2 kills, right? Renegade's positioning is so key here as he extends the lead to 8, finds RyaNoob. That's a free kill, gets an assist for it. Knocked to no shield, wants to stay alive with this camo. Oh my, the death nade almost gets a hold of Mental. Mental does stay alive though. You remove the camo from the map, still an 8-kill lead for Optic Gaming, however.
Mental needs to stay alive here with the shock rifle and really do a lot of damage to bring his team back into the game. Down by 9 kills. Optic, the first one at 30.
Trades across the board, so Mental, massive responsibility here with the shock rifle, get his team back into it. Unfortunately, he doesn't expect Renegade to spawn bottom lift. Renegade spawns bottom lift, lifts up, takes that shock rifle, puts it in his hands. Now this is a tough position to be in as well because Renegade with the shock is no laughing matter.
3 members fall for Optic, Clutch. With Renegade, the last one, seems like a very common theme. There's never going to be 4 dead because Renegade is always alive, being a thorn in the side of your base.
Yeah, you almost want Renegade dead instead of the other 3 at this point because the way he was able to impact game 1. We'll see how Renegade's able to play this. He waits for his teammates to spawn, can't hit the first couple of shots with the shock rifle. Mental pushes him back into a difficult situation, hits the jump on S3. Nice kill under RyaNoob. However, the successful push from Complexity will win them a couple of slays, but still trades continuing to occur. Formal with a double extends the lead to 9.
Momentary 4 down for Complexity. Quick spawn and push to try to get some more real estate on the map. But RyaNoob goes down, so does Cherished. And this one's getting away from Complexity quick. Only 11 more kills to go for Optic.
Complexity's been thrown in the deep end of the pool right now. Optic looking like Michael Phelps with a 10-kill lead here, swimming towards 50. They're flow stating right now. They are pushing everything they can to make Complexity uncomfortable. Big shots by Cherished will release some of that pressure, but Cherished needs some help. At 12, 4, and 10, Cherished has got to get somebody else on the board on his team in order to stop some of the Optic Gaming pressure, but it might be too little too late.
This is a final opportunity pretty much for Complexity. You got to win your pips right now, and you got to get this camo. But as I say that, Renegade pushes in with no concern, gets a perfect kill on KingNick, and gives his team so much control on the map now by that win.
Yeah, 5 more kills to go, and look at where Complexity are positioned, just trapped at the bottom of ramp. They get a little bit of space on the map after they take down Bound, but they're going to be stuck in blue. One player by himself, KingNick over at Snipe, and that's Legend's target first.
Camo in the hands of Legend allows him to move so freely across the map. 4 more kills to go for Optic Gaming as Complexity finds them, they're back steadily against the wall.
RyaNoob cheesing that doorway gets an assassination on the Renegade. You know, Renegade's a little upset with that one, but he can shrug it off with a 10-kill lead. All you need to do is find forward, and Legend's got your 1.
3 more kills to go, and Optic Gaming will go up 2-0 in this series. RyaNoob gets taken down to 1 shot. Bound cleans that up. 2 more kills to go. Renegade trying to look for spots KingNick. Legend is there to clean it up. Last kill. Optic Gaming playing like an absolute machine right now, and there it is. Renegade with the final kill, and Optic Gaming go up 2-0.
Just so impressive. So impressive this roster is when they get map control and they are able to punish the other team the way they are. Continuously keeping players in no shield, players coming off respawn, almost getting shocked in the head, and you think you're lucky that you got to keep your life, but guess what? Legend, Bound, they're filing in. They're going to finish you before your shields ever come up, and that's a recipe for success. The Green Wall showed us that all year long, and it's no surprise. They're having the success still at the Halo World Championship. They find themselves up 2-0 now in this series.
Cool, calm, and collected is the Green Wall. Optic Gaming here on a mission, ladies and gentlemen. They want to be crowned your Halo World Champions, but they have a lot of tough teams in their path.
Yeah, taking a look at the highlights. Game starts with Optic dominating, and that's just a recipe for disaster. Renegade, just, you see him without any information, he's willing to put us in the yard. He is willing to take any gunfight in this series. This is a dangerous roster when they get into that mentality, when they're not second guessing themselves, when they're not waiting for another teammate. When they're flying, they're a problem. And all you saw throughout the mid-game towards the end game was this team wanting to just continue the pace. They know teams like Complexity cannot keep up with the pace. If we can just keep the pressure on the other side of the stage, it's just so chaotic, right? The comms are everywhere. You're getting timing because you're focused on everyone being a priority kill. Everything's getting yelled. And honestly, Faisal, when you're in that situation, if you take a look, being down 2-0 in this series, what can Complexity do to even try to stop some of that, especially going into what I consider one of the fastest map mode combinations in Stronghold's Recharge?
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for them, Fletch, I'll be honest. But at the end of the day, you just got to talk to each other as a team and regroup, refocus, and reset, right? You have to believe in yourself. You're here at the Halo World Championships for a reason, and you got to be able to win at least 1 game against a team like Optic Gaming, who is one of the best teams in the entire world. We know this. But Complexity is trying to make a name for themselves as well. And Clutch, we talked about at the start of this series where TSM pushed Optic Gaming all the way to a game 5, whereas Complexity 3-0'd them right before this series. But sometimes that close series win or even a loss in some situations can be exactly what your team needs to start the weekend off correctly, and we're seeing that right now with Optic.
Yeah, sometimes it wakes you up, right? Gets the adrenaline going, saying, hey, I'm at a world championship. We were close to slipping up again, and Optic has slipped up all year long, it feels like, in pool play. So that wake-up call was everything they needed to look primed and ready for what is Complexity's best shot at them, and now they're up 2-0. We're taking a look at the pool play results. FaZe Clan up 2-0, Cloud9 up 2-0. I saw Cloud9 won game 1 of that series. I'm very interested to see what that actual series score is. Cloud9 giving FaZe Clan a hard time. MP and SSG still a date with Destiny. SSG actually lost to Unreal Nightmare. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, SSG getting taken out by Unreal Nightmare. Not what you expected to see there in Pool D. Obviously, they still have a chance to get top 2 in their pool, but wow, Envy with the 2-0 in the Pool D, and Space Station Gaming losing to Unreal. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, we'll have a series later in Pool A, Luminon versus Akave. That'll decide who's going to get second most likely in that pool. That's a big series because you get an opportunity to start your World Championship in winner's bracket with a series win there. And after Luminon fell short to Shopify, are they going to be hanging their heads, or is Akave going to be able to kind of match what we saw from them in the first series? It wasn't any great results against Shopify, but there were opportunities there if you remember. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, that'll be a good series. But right here, we have Game 3 coming up. Optic Gaming versus Complexity. What some expected to be a close series, Optic Gaming is shutting the door on that narrative. They're here to prove a point. They want to finish their Friday off strong. And like you said, Clutch, maybe get a nice dinner afterwards.
You know, Hex is buying them a nice dinner. They finished pool play for the first time, what feels like undefeated. It's about damn time, boys, but what a time to do it. Name of the game is going to be Recharge Strongholds, and anybody you're specifically looking at on the side of Complexity that really needs to step up to make this more of a contest and to give Optic an actual shot at falling short of a 3-0 here.
I'm going to be looking at Cherished. We saw the stats in the TSM series where Cherished absolutely popped off. Of course, the level of competition a little bit different here against Optic Gaming, and they seem to be shutting him down a little bit, but Cherished is really going to need to step up for this team to succeed in Game 3.
Yeah, and some of the difficulty, honestly, on any individual on Complexity has got to be you don't have any space on the map to work with. You're playing against players with power-ups and power weapons. It feels like the majority of the time, Optic Gaming just continuously pushing that pace. We keep iterating it, but it's so important to stress because no matter how good of a player you are, if you don't have any map or angles to work around, it's almost like a losing fight coming off spawn anyways.
Looking at the predictions here, Wes.
Who's looking good so far?
So far, I mean, everyone is looking like they're in the running.
Anybody with SSG is not. That would be you.
It's pool play. We've seen teams like Optic Gaming come back after a tough pool play, so I still have faith in SSG. But Optic Gaming, Clutch, looks like me and you agree that they are here to prove a point this weekend.
The team was built to win a world championship. I expect them to win a world championship, and if they don't, that will be how their season will be remembered. I'm hearing in my ear, FaZe Clan is in Game 5 with Cloud9 right now, and that's an interesting series going over on, I'm assuming, on the Bravo station. Hell of a predictions, though. Well, I just hope Tony's not right. That's really all I care about.
That's all you care about.
Yeah. I don't care if I'm right, as long as Tony's not right.
SSG obviously having a difficult series there, losing to Unreal Nightmare, and we have Shopify Rebellion, the back-to-back champions, coming in trying to get a three-peat, and Optic Gaming trying to get the train back on the tracks. After winning the first 2 events of this year, they haven't found that success so far.
Oh, wow. You get an opportunity to see the series layout for what FaZe and Cloud9 are going up against, and I mean, Cloud9 with a 2-1 lead. Winning on Recharge Strongholds, a game type that I think haunts FaZe. It's nice to see a Lattice go in FaZe's favor. That Game 5 is going to be lit. Live Fire Slayer, you got Camo, you got the S7. Who's going to get an opportunity to really pop off? I mean, a lot of teams playing with fire here this weekend. We saw Optic go the distance with the TSM roster as well. So no surprise that some of our back-ended teams in pool play are really pushing some of the top teams the distance. But so far, our top teams are undefeated. It would be a shock if FaZe go down there.
Yeah, after making it all the way to the grand finals in the last major, losing against Cloud9, even though it is pool plays, that would be a difficult road to go down if you're FaZe. You got to get all the wins early right now and keep that momentum going.
And honestly, for Cloud9, they've gone to so many Game 5s in the past few years.
Yep.
Different rosters along the way, obviously, but some of those players are still on that roster, and it feels like they always get to Game 5, but they always fall short. Is the World Championship going to be the first time it feels like they get over that hump and they create that upset? That would be big time for the C9 boys.
Taking a look at the journeys of some of our top teams here in the HCS. Like we talked about, West Optic Gaming coming out the gates firing, winning the first 2 events. And since then, it's been a bit of a downward trend. On the other side, Shopify Rebellion winning back-to-back events, trying to go for the 3-peat. Can you imagine the players like Flash Shot and Cycle getting their first event wins in a 3-peat?
Someone's got to stop Royal 2. He's already got 3 rings. Someone
Royal 4 rings?
Man, Royal 4 rings is
crazy.
Ridiculous. At what point are we talking about Royal 2 being the GOAT? That's the greatest of all time. I mean, 4 rings is something I'm not even sure Ogre 2 has. He may have actually 4 rings, but he might be tied at that point in that conversation. That'd be an interesting one, but a long weekend ahead in order to establish that and actually make that a reality. And there's several players on that main stage trying to make sure that never happens.
Yeah, and in this game number 3, I'm going to be looking at Bound and Lqgend, right? We talked about it a little bit in game number 2. The two fastest players, in my opinion, in the ACS, they force this Optic Gaming roster to just be one of those super aggressive teams that's always in your face. And on the other side, you have someone like RyaNoob, who's kind of built his name and career on being that type of player. But when you have Lqgend and Bound completely countering RyaNoob, it seems like right now, it's going to be tough for Complexity.
Yeah, RyaNoob's known for taking his unpredictable routes, his untraditional routes, and finding so much success there. It's almost like those routes are getting cut off before he can even really find that opportunity. When you got players come in your face off spawn, forcing you to win a gunfight.
And not missing.
It's a much harder recipe for success, and I think that that's what we've seen a part of manifest itself here in a 2-0.
Yeah, but we got to see Complexity turn around, Wes. It's not unheard of for a team to be down 2-0 and make it a series, right? We understand that these first 2 games have been pretty much a blowout, but game number 3 could change the fate of Complexity. They just have to come out of the gate strong and have a good start.
Stranger things have happened at World Championships. I can promise you that. I lived a piece of that. We'll see if Complexity. That's an ad.
Okay.
That counted as the same. You might not have. We played in the national championship, if you remember.
I try to forget. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 3. Recharge, Strongholds. Optic Gaming looking to sweep in their pools. Of course, they'll have another series to go, but Complexity is trying to say something about it and make this a series.
I love these little player games, by the way. A new addition to the World Championship main stage. Get to see Formal cracking his neck. You know he's ready to get this series over with.
250 points will get you the win. We have the shocked rifle. We have the power-ups. And we're going to see Complexity try to have a good start here. And they're going to need to control this camo, Wes.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they immediately put themselves behind in game 2. Formal finds himself the camo, the shock, and it was all Formal for a little bit there. So much impact on the outcome of the game. We'll see if Complexity can do a better job of starting this game off. But right now on board with Bound, and he's already behind enemy lines. Take down KingNick. He gets turned on and Bound. Gonna reset in the death cam. Lqgend, however, finds himself a double, finds himself a third player attempting to push top A, making it a difficult kill for him. The jukes, the dips, the dodges. Can he get the job done? Oh my God, it's an ugly fight. He gets a little bit of help from his friends. And with that, bought some time for the rest of Optic Gaming to get over to A. And what a play by Lqgend, just staying alive.
Camo was secured by Renegade, but quickly taken out by the Complexity side, and now control in the hands of Optic Gaming, A and C, and they're gonna get some points on the board.
Yeah, not your traditional hold. Optic are gonna want B in either A or C, but they're gonna get all 3 from the looks of it. C flat is where all of Complexity is gonna be coming off respawn here, and already with so much damage onto them, they know they can't stand in that stronghold. They're going to have to fight for white and blue control. Formal trying to deny some of that space right now, but continuously getting kills in the kill feed for Optic Gaming. It's a trip cap to kick this one off, and already 40-0 and climbing.
Yeah, that trip cap is so deadly, and this is not looking good for Complexity. We talked about them needing a strong start in game number 3, but Optic Gaming are the ones firing on all cylinders.
And it's Lqgend, MVP of last Worlds. 6-1-1 to kick this one off. Gets a ton of information and doesn't take a lot of damage. Very key to being able to stay alive there. Gets a kill. Can he get out? It's a killing spree for Lqgend, and he gets out of there. He's surrounded by Complexity, and he finds a hole. I guess he creates a hole with a kill. And with that, Complexity once again on respawn, down over 100 already.
Now they're going to be spawning in the pipes, they're going to try to go top glass and rotate all around to C, but right now this is an absolute bloodbath. Optic Gaming is making this look so easy.
Blink. This game's about to be over right now. RyaNoob gets put on respawn. One player is going to be towards the elevator side, but I mean, Complexity having such a hard time finding any kills. Lqgend still alive on this killing spree, 8-2-1. They do get A, so they stop the trip cap waiting, but I'm Jesus Christ, it's already 157-0.
Yeah, even after getting A, Optic just collapses so quickly, and they're gonna get A right back and get right into this triple cap once again.
Second camo of the game might not even come up, it feels like. It is coming up here momentarily, but it might not need to get put to use. 185, it's perfect Halo for Optic Gaming so far.
Once again, all of Complexity spawning in pipes. RyaNoob able to be a straggler and get behind Optic, but he gets taken out And now Bound picks up the camo, and the trip cap is still in full effect, Wes.
Hey, Complexity, I'm gonna let you know right now, you got one more life in this game. If you don't get a kill, this game's over. This series is over.
After capping A, see a couple members of Complexity try to rotate over to C. Let's see if they can win this fight against Legend and get some control.
Okay, a couple of kills come their way. They want to play some Halo, it seems, this Friday evening. They're able to get B, they're able to hop in C. Complexity not going to get too 50-0. Let's see how long they can hold this double cap. They can get around the Slays. They're going to need to push for a trip cap, however, because their deficit is so massive. RyaNoob and Cherished pick up kills. The last two players at Elevator. You need Complexity to push this, and you need to do it fast. You got to get rid of these Optic Gaming members. Lqgend gets out of there, though. He sneaks out, and he's able to jump in C before Complexity would like him to, so no trip cap for Complexity.
Yeah, that was huge for Formal Legend to get that trade. Legend staying alive and rotating over to C, giving them control of C, but Complexity still has A and B, so some signs of life out of Complexity.
The heart rate monitor is going crazy right now. Let's see what Legend's able to do. Hops into B. Everybody on the map is alive. You have to think this is highway robbery if he's able to transfer over B, but by the looks of observer mode, everybody for Complexity stuck in the back of blue. Formal's getting kills in no man's land right now. They are able to reposition to get C, but they've lost control once again, and 15 points is all Optic need.
Every single time, no matter whose point of view we go on the Optic side, the game just looks so easy for them. Their teamwork is impeccable right now, and they are just playing such efficient Halo. It's a beauty to watch.
10 points, one more round of Slays. Complexity split across the map, and they're looking for a C push here. They've regrouped, there's 3 of them. Legend's gonna find all 3 here. Can he get some kills? Is the question. KingNick's able to stay alive. They're able to transfer over C. So for now, Complexity are alive. 2:45:37, that's where we'll stop as a BC hold for Complexity keeps them in this game.
Now we're seeing Complexity push their advantage and try to win this fight. Turbine trying to get that A control as well, maybe get a trip cap for themselves. But Optic Gaming has control of batteries, trying to get B back, and they do.
Renegade gets caught off guard, but still almost able to turn on the mental. Can't hit the headshot. A couple of kills go to Complexity, and now they push a trip cap. Formal finds himself a perfect kill. The trip cap gets denied once again. Legend in A will allow Complexity to have a BC hold. Complexity continue to score. It's a matter of time. You just got to feel. You got to get a trip cap, and you almost have to play perfect from here.
Yeah, 245 seconds for Optic. One switch, one setup break, and they'll win this game. But the triple cap comes out of Complexity, and all of Optic is spawning towards C. So maybe Complexity will put on some pressure here and try to hold the trip cap. But no, it looks like they're going to choose to just hold A and B for now.
Do you believe in miracles? Complexity now up to 100 points. The trip cap, it gets stopped for now, but here comes Complexity. A kill on the Formal's big, but the rest of Optic Gaming turn and burn. What is KingNick's life there? Legend's going to be anchoring this back blue position, but look at Complexity. All right, here we go. There's some teamwork there. Formal gets spit out towards the pipes. That's the first player to spawn. You got to figure out a way to deny the shock rifle, and this pipe control is so imperative here for Complexity to continue this trip cap. The rest of this team is over at Elevator. If they can get these kills at Elevator, they can continue what is a trip cap right now. Formal goes down as well. 4 down again for Optic. Here we go.
This is looking good for Complexity, but once again, one slip, one wrong move, and Optic Gaming will sweep this series, so Complexity has to play literally perfect Halo.
RyaNoob needs to hit a shot. You got to create the opportunity for your team. KingNick does get a kill in the feed, and RyaNoob gets information across that mid-bridge player. Legend, the last player alive. 4 down again for Optic. Complexity, here we go.
Spawning towards the glass side, Optic Gaming just needs to focus on getting a pick, maybe 2, as Bound does a lot of damage, but great grenade out of RyaNoob taking him down, and we're seeing Optic trying to rotate towards C, but KingNick is there.
Oh my God, here comes RyaNoob. He hits the first. Legend gets a double in the kill feed. 2 go down on each side. This is the moment of the game, right back in it. Only down 15 now. The next round of Slays almost guarantees who's going to win this game. Mental backs up to glass. He's got C control. 1 player in B. His teammate KingNick able to get that reset on the B. Formal goes down. KingNick goes down. Mental picks up a kill on the Bound. 2 players going to C, and it's the last 2 players that will have anything to say about this. If Complexity can get these kills before the team spawns, that's big. But Mental jumps up, eats the nade, and with that, Optic able to get that kill. 243, 245. This game's tied, Faisal.
What are we watching right now? Clutch 246 to 245. Complexity making a miraculous comeback right now as Optic Gaming converts C. So they have control of A and C, and this could be it. But Complexity hops into C.
They get into C. Nobody from Complexity is here, and Renegade's in B as well. 2 members go down for Complexity. They're coming off respawn right now. Formal gets 2 in the feed as well this game. As close as it got. Optic find a way. Oh my God, Mental. Mental jumps in. Last player steps. The melees aren't close enough. Oh, finally. Optic Gaming gave their fans a heart attack, but brought them back to life there at the end. I mean, Complexity, that was going to be a game we talked about for a long time, but we will remember it as almost the time Optic choked.
Yeah, and if you're Complexity, of course, you never want to get 3-0 swept, but they showed something impressive in that game number 3 and just an inch away from stealing that game and pushing this to a game 4, but this is a game of inches clutch, and Optic Gaming just iced up.
Optic with a 3-0 in the series, but we will remember the Strongholds for the heart attack that they just gave their fans as far as thinking that the night was over, it was going to be easy, it was going to be dominant. It was almost 250-0 if you remember.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, Complexity ran away with it. Optic Gaming showing some ice there at the end in a very unfavorable position in the last few moments of that game, but somehow found a way to get into C, and with that, bought themselves enough time to make the plays. Another test for Optic Gaming, another pass of the test. We'll give them a C for that one because you had all the right answers in the first half, and in the second half, you just started scribbling.
And we're seeing an Optic Gaming team coming out the gates swinging. We haven't seen them have this much success in pool plays in quite some time. And right now, if you're an Optic fan, it's looking like they're here to win a championship.
The true test was Optic, can you go undefeated in pools? Please, don't mess up the bracket again. They passed that test. That's an 8. That's the first time it feels like in a long time for Optic fans where they get after a Friday and they get to go, okay, on to bracket play.
And Complexity still has a chance to get second in their pool, so good job out of them. And once again, we talked about that game number 3 potential comeback. That would have been one for the history books, but Optic Gaming shut it down and iced up when it matters most.
I'm excited to see Optic finally in winner's bracket where they should be against a team not named Shopify Rebellion. It feels like we've seen all season long them match up against Shopify in winner's bracket round 1. Optic are here. It feels like Optic are back in the place that they should be. We know them to be. We expect championships from a roster that has been talking about it since they formed.
The green wall is here to try and win a championship, and right now we have Blaze on stage with the coach of Optic, Lunchbox.